This is the moment we've been waiting for, y'all. When I saw this collection getting revealed, I was extremely excited to see it. They put so much anticipation behind this collection. The original announcement happened months in advance, so I was so excited to see the actual reveal of the products for the Lethal Avatar collection. I was delighted with the reveal of every single item in this collection. However, I must begin this video by saying I did not purchase the entire collection because I cannot afford the entire collection. The whole bundle was $291, and while like on paper that seems great because like everything looks so beautiful, I figured I would just purchase the items that I knew for sure I would get a lot of use out of. So with that being said, let's get into everything. I had to get Appa. By the way, I've had this collection for a while, but buying this collection, yeah, I was stressing. I was there all day. I was working this day, so buying it was even harder because I had to like kind of like work while also worrying about this. So it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised I was able to get the items that I wanted because I was literally there in line waiting. I was on my phone, I was on my laptop, I was on anything I could be on because I just wanted to make sure I could get the few items that I wanted. And I feel like I forgot about it because it's been a while, but how could I forget? It was a struggle to buy this. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. I'm tired of complaining. It was hard. I did it, and there will be a restock coming in July. I don't know what day, but it will be coming in July. I also filmed a whole unboxing short of this collection because I figured I'd rather make multiple forms of content. I filmed multiple transition with each look that I did with each of these palettes, and then I also did do the looks. I filmed each look separately, so this video is going to be quite different because I wanted to give each palette its own moment. So I'm going to start with each palette from how I started, and then I will go into the other items that I bought. But I did purchase the palette bundle, which retailed for $110.20, but you are buying 4 different palettes, and if you want the palettes separately, each palette retails for $29, so $30 a palette. There is a highlighter, lipsticks, a sponge, eyeliners. I did not purchase any of that because I just wanted the eyeshadow palettes bag. So those are the items that I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of. I'm going to start with the fire palette because I feel like this is the first one I used. It's not the one I wanted to use first, but I feel like if I was in the Avatar universe, I would be a firebender. I feel like me and Azula, although she's not my favorite character, that we do kind of have similar characteristics, and that may not be the best thing to admit to the internet, but the palette is beautiful. The shimmers are beautiful. There are 4 shimmer shades and 5 mattes. I do enjoy the shimmer to matte ratio, and I did enjoy the colors that I played with. I really enjoyed how soft these matte shades are. You can build them or you can use like a fluffy brush and go with them lightly. I feel like either way they work. I enjoy the pigmentation of the black in this palette. This is the only palette that has a black, and I feel like it's the only palette that really needs a black. The bright red in here is so intense and so pigmented. I did use it on my lower lash line when I did my red look. And although I didn't use all of the shimmer shades, the ones that I did use, I feel like Roku is a multi-chrome, but I'm not sure. That shade is so intense. It shifts from like a orange to a red, and it is just beautiful. And then I mixed it with the shade Fire Lily, which also kind of has a shift to it. I just can't, it's more of like a orangey goldeny shift. And I did enjoy the look I did a lot. I thought it looked a lot similar to the Charmander look that I did with the Pokemon palette, but no biggie. I feel like out of all of the palettes, I feel like this is the one I would use the least. It's not because it's not pretty, it's just like right now these just aren't the tones that I want. I'm looking more for like cooler tones, more subtle tones, kind of similar to what I have on my eyes. Just sometimes I do like to play with color. It's just this isn't really the type of color I would gravitate towards. I still ultimately bought this palette because I wanted the full set of all of the elements. Everything is so gorgeous. Like the packaging, they just really did a good job, and they ate everything up. They ate it all up. Everything looks so beautiful. I want the rest of the collection. I just have to hold myself back because I honestly cannot. Moving on, we have the water palette. Again, the palette retails for $29. And everything is available for pre-order right now. Just letting you know. And out of all of the palettes, I feel like this one is probably one of my favorites. This one is probably one of my favorites from the entire collection, and it's just a blue palette, but the shimmers in this palette, the way they included the white and the brown, really makes this palette more unique and stand out more than my other blue palettes in my collection. Lethal shimmers are so incredible. I don't know how I haven't used them before in the past. The last palette I had from Lethal was the Teresa is Lethal palette, and I loved that palette. I used that palette once, I think, for a short, just so I could use it, because I hadn't used it up until then, because there's always some other shit to film with. This was like my first real go around trying Lethal's formula. I feel like this palette is just composed very well. The colors are so nice. The black and the white add something really good to this palette. And for my look, I wanted to mix the blue, the white, and the brown to create something really cool, and I definitely did, and that was the look I did with the water transition. And I'm actually so proud of my water transition. You guys have no idea how hard that was. Like, I was there struggling, but you know, I'm surprised my makeup lasted three like water. It lasted 3 times, which is great, because honestly I was scared. But I used this palette, and it's the perfect palette to literally do that trend with, because it's literally the water palette. But I just loved the shimmers in this palette. I used the shade Yue, Karuk, and Spirit Oasis, and I feel like my favorite shimmer in the palette is Karuk. This one is so intense, so beautiful. The shift is so like unique to me. I haven't seen a blue shade shift from like purple to blue like that in the best way, and it's so sparkly, and it's just that bitch. This shade is just like the main shade in this palette, and I feel like this one and the next one I'm gonna speak about have the best center shades in the palette. I feel like we all know what my favorite's gonna be. Sorry guys, I'm so predictable. Along with the palette, I did use the Sokka glitter gel. This is actually quite unique. I haven't used a product like this. I love the packaging, and I kind of don't want to get rid of it. I love that they didn't forget about Sokka. I love it, and I had to buy it because the ColourPop collection that ColourPop did was cool and all, but they literally said, fuck Sokka, we don't care about him. But this collection included a whole product just for Sokka, and I really appreciate that. So here's the glitter gel. This is beautiful. I did do like a close-up of this product, and it is just beautiful. It is so unique. I'm scared to use this product because I don't know how to use it properly. But like, it is so pretty. It's like a flaky glitter gel, and it just looks so pretty topped on top of whatever. That's how I used it, because granted, I don't know how else to use it. I was just like, I'm just gonna use it as like a glitter gel on top of my already blue makeup, and it was pretty, and I could see like the giant, they're like bigger chunkier flakes, but they don't flake off. They're apparently ocean safe glitters, so that's pretty cool as well. I have to continue using, I feel like this is the only product I feel like I have to continue to use, because products like these and my hooded eyes, like, we don't really tend to get along, so I feel like I need to try this some more. For $21 that this little glitter gel costed is a little pricey, so I feel like for me this wasn't something that was completely necessary, but for me it is, because Sokka, you know, he needs his moment, and I feel like this glitter gel gave him his moment, so we have to appreciate Sokka. But I feel like the shade Karuk in the palette kind of is better than this. That should tell you a lot. $21, it's pretty. I'm gonna use it because I spent my money on it, but I feel like I would have skipped this. Maybe prefer the highlighter. I don't know, but I feel like maybe if it was a little cheaper, it would be a little better to justify spending your money on this. For me, I feel like it's a little pricey for the amount that you get and for what it is. Moving on to the third palette in this collection bundle, which is the Earth palette. This is probably my favorite palette out of all of the palettes. But let me show you why, because like, you will know immediately why this is my favorite palette out of all of the palettes. I wore this palette yesterday, and I did a transition didn't do great, but I did a transition, and I used this palette, and I did get complimented on my eyeshadow. People were like, what are you wearing on your eyes? And I was just like, it's this. This is beautiful. I cannot complain. This is the best palette out of the entire bundle because of the tones in here. I love it. It's so earthy. It's so green. It's so pretty. I'm a green girly. I love green on me. I gotta be honest. Green is what gives me the most compliments, so I'm always gonna pick green. The center shade in this palette, Kyoshi in this palette, is stunning. It is beautiful. It is everything and more. It is the only shimmer shade I use in this palette so far. I feel like it just makes this palette. It's the prettiest green shade. It shifts from like green to pink. It almost looks kind of golden in some lighting. It is just so beautiful. I felt so pretty with this palette on yesterday, and I would gladly wear it again. I can't wait to use this brown with this shade. I feel like that would be a beautiful one and done look. I feel like this palette is filled with beautiful one and done looks, and it is probably my favorite, followed by the water palette. And then we have the Air palette from the collection, and this is the palette I'm currently wearing on my eyes. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give this one kind of like a harsh review, because while I do look at this and it does scream like Air Nomads, it does scream Air Temple, for me personally this is one of my least favorite palettes in the entire collection, because I feel like it's just so hard to make a cohesive look with this palette. Like trying to make it look like an Air Nomad look was so hard, and I did not do a good job because I feel like I just couldn't. I had to wipe off the first look I did. I wanted to make it more like Aang and like make it more fun and like incorporate the color that you get in here, but it just didn't work. Like, it just didn't look good, so I had to wipe it off and start again. What I will say is that the shimmer shades in this palette in particular, they're all beautiful. There's not a single shimmer in this palette that I'm just like, no, that's not a beautiful color. This is a beautiful color. This is a beautiful color. This is stunning. And then this one is probably the best shimmer in the entire selection of palettes. I'm wearing this one on my eyes today. It is like the most foiled, the most sparkly. It's beautiful. And it is yip yip. It's Appa shade in the palette. Yip yip. I love it. It's so pretty. It just sparkles in the way I enjoy a shimmer to sparkle. And it's so sparkly that sometimes the camera can't even like really focus on my face. And then for the inner corner, I just used the shade Aang, which in my opinion is the perfect color for Aang. It's like his Avatar state color, and I love it so much. It's so beautiful. The look I wiped off, I used Gyatso, and it was so beautiful. I need to use just that color somehow because this color is so unique, so intense, and I love that it's named Gyatso because like my heart, this is just beautiful, so unique. I've never seen a color like that, so super impressed with that. Although this is my least favorite palette, I am determined to make it work for me. I'm not kidding. I'm going to try and make a look that I enjoy from this palette because I just need it to work for me. I loved it. When I first opened it, I thought this was so beautiful. I thought this was going to be my favorite one. It was in fact not my favorite one. I'm gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. I hope this video gave you at least some type of rundown. I will post all of the looks that I did as shorts so you have like a closer up version, because I feel like if I would have just done one look, I feel like it wouldn't have been as thorough of a review. I wanted to give you thorough reviews of everything. And granted, I did spill water on my face 3 times with the water palette, and that bitch stayed on through it. She stayed on through it. There wasn't a smudge on my eyes. And I mean, that's just good quality pigments right there, isn't it? That's just good quality. Lethal has been so supportive also. I haven't like dabbled much into Lethal, so the fact that they've been reposting my transitions with their palettes and like hearting all of my things, I really appreciate it. They're so sweet and they're so kind, and I really enjoy when small businesses, you know, look at the creators and people using their products, because that's so important. I wish I could have afforded the liners and the lipsticks and the highlighter, but you know, it's fine. I got the most important part. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, hold up, Appa. We forgot Appa. We forgot Appa. You guys, Appa is amazing. He's great. If you're a big Appa fan, get this. Just you won't be disappointed. Just get him. This is probably my favorite part of the entire collection. My boyfriend wants to steal him. Don't know for what, but he just wants to steal him, so I guess just to put his stuff in there. I don't know. But I'm gonna be out of an Appa pouch after this video. And they did use him as padding in my box, so when I opened my box, it was just Appa in there. I was just like, oh, Appa. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye. Hold up, I need to prep. I have a headache, so not the best time, but we're powering through. They put so much intent. Oh my god, I just spilled my finger into it. The palettes, the way they Taretha. I used the shade Yui, but for $23 that I think this costed, is it $23? I'm not gonna, I hope the video's good. I hope I gave like a good rundown. I'm like stressed. Is it a good video? Or is it not a good video? I'm stressed. I don't want to keep you here for an hour. I just want to give you guys like the rundown, you know? Tell you this is good, this is not good, this is great, this is not great.